Hey guys, welcome back to the season finale of A Talk of Ice and Fire. Let's talk about the last episode of this season, Mother's Mercy.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, let's start off with the title. Why do you think they named it that title? It was an interesting choice.
Well, I had a theory going into it why they called it that title. Usually the titles have separate meanings for each character and what's going on. But the biggest reveal that I thought was going to happen didn't actually happen.
Unfortunately, it did not.
So,
It was a horrible
I don't know
episode.
why it was called that.
Because Lady Stoneheart was not in this episode, it was a terrible episode.
No, I mean, it was called that. I mean, earlier in this season, we saw the High Sparrow said that, like, Cersei would be shown the Mother's Mercy if she confesses. You have that whole scene, which is, I mean, it's really well done. Pretty much exactly how I picture it from the books, where she's just walking all the way through the city. And just, I mean, it's even worse because she gets, like, poop thrown at her and just everything.
Yeah.
I mean, people join in, though, and flash themselves to her, which probably makes it feel a little less, like, self-conscious, which they probably help her
I
out.
think it would provide some comfort to me.
Yeah.
Oh, you're joining. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone's naked, then no one's naked.
That's
In
my
fact,
motto in life.
it was an empowering walk. If I, I'm also reaching because I do feel like it does have supposed some metaphorical meaning to everything, to all the stories, but it is kind of a reach for me. I do think that beyond the title, though, all the stories. I mean, we've had our issues with the season. I think this episode, in some ways, encapsulates that perfectly because it almost every story basically made this season feel like nothing happened. Like, erased all the progress we thought we had this season. Like, nope, wrong, go back. Nope, wrong, go back. You did it, you're done. Everything you've worked for, gone. Everything you've done, gone. Stannis, Dany, Jon, Arya, like, everyone is just like, look what you've come so far. No, you dummy.
I would say the only character maybe that the progress was made was for Tyrion.
I would say Theon at least grew a little bit. I mean, he no longer would say he's total. You can't say he completely reek. I mean, he threw Miranda off.
I think there's certain characters maybe have grown in terms of what they know and changing. Like Tyrion, I think, yeah, you're right. When we look at him at the beginning of the season to where he's now, he probably has the largest, arc or
right.
he's big an arc.
Yeah.
I think some characters probably didn't change their, who they were, but they grew in that they learned stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get in all this later, but characters like Jon, right? I mean, he learned a lot, and as an audience, we learned a lot through him. Things like that, right? But a lot of it was just like what did Stannis learn? Well, I guess he learned something.
Yeah, I mean, he learned that
Don't kill your daughter!
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't.
Don't be a stupid.
Well, he didn't come to some oh man, that's what I did wrong the whole time.
Well,
he stayed true to himself pretty
he
much.
did, but I think I don't think he ended his season without just his heart filled with complete regret.
Yeah.
He didn't even try fighting for his life at the end. Not even, I mean, emotionally, he didn't try to fight for himself. He's just just do it. I'm done.
Well, do you think that he's dead?
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead.
No, I don't think he is either.
Because Bran, I thought, was looking for a reason not to kill him. She was like, give me a reason not to kill you.
I think there's a good argument that he isn't dead because they didn't show it. If nothing else, they didn't show it. But to me, I think he's dead because really, what reason would she have to not kill him? What, she's swinging the sword. What in that action causes her all right, he convinced me. Or, oh wait, I just thought of this plan that we'll use. What reason does she have to not kill him?
Well, I mean, I kind of looked at it similar to the way that Jon was ready to execute Ygritte in that one scene way back in season 2, and she was like, "Go ahead, do it. Do your duty." Similar to how Stannis says it to Brienne, and he just kind of fakes it. I think he did it just because he's probably hesitant to kill somebody because we know Jon's a good person, but maybe also just to kind of see what she would do.
I suppose, and I'm not saying all of those aren't, but if that's true, I'm just and if they come back next season and they're hanging out by the tree, thanks for not killing me, Brent. It'll feel wait, where was any of this emotion and any of this intent as you were slashing him? It would feel a little false to me.
It would feel false, and also I was thinking about her sword is named Oathkeeper for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think one of her oaths that she made, at least to herself, is to get revenge for Renly's death and by killing Stannis.
Yeah.
So you're right. She absolutely should kill him. In fact, if she did not kill him and he's there next season, I would be a little disappointed in her as a character.
I also found it interesting that there's pretty much every story ended on a cliffhanger. No one's story really got resolved. I mean, you could say that like something like the Jaime leaving Dorne with Marcella. I mean, you technically don't see her die. It's implied that she dies. I mean, like even more so than Stannis. But I mean, Sansa and Theon jump off Winterfell. They could be dead. I don't know. Who knows what the landing was like down there?
That would be the worst. That like so unceremonious.
It would be awful. But I mean, okay, obviously.
It did feel like, they ended it right like in a tennis match. The ball's right here, and the guy's about to hit it, and then they cut.
Like, that's fine for maybe the episode leading up to the finale, but you don't... I mean, it's a whole year now that we have to wait. Like, it's great for, adding speculation. Everyone's going to be asking questions, talking about it on forums. That's how you get people to just keep talking about this season, because it was probably the most lackluster season of all of Game of Thrones so far.
It's interesting, though, because this episode, though, is maybe the most interesting of the series season finales, because all the other season finales, episode 9 has been the big crazy game changer, something happens, and then usually it's the kind of ramifications of what has happened, the results of that. And so they've been, they've big, good denouements, right? They're kind of conclusions, and all their characters are kind of resolved to where they've come. This episode, I did not feel like that, and for that reason, I thought it was a little, at least more interesting than a normal season finale.
So, like, Game of Thrones, I mean, it's a groundbreaking show in just that even characters that you would expect in a normal story to be the heroes, they wouldn't die. They'll kill them off just like that. Yeah. I mean, you expect someone to have, like, this grand, like, end game, and maybe they'll just lose horribly in just one random battle. That's it. Jon will just get stabbed by the Night's Watch. That's the end of his story. Like, yeah, who were his parents? Who cares? He's dead. People die without getting to, to their true potential.
Yeah, I mean, like, Sansa might die in a car accident next week. We don't know.
She'll just get trampled by a horse.
Yeah.
I might kill her myself.
Oh.
Well, okay, so we've talked about most of the subplots, I believe, but I think we should have a big talk about Jon.
Okay. Made me sad. I was, like, I knew this scene was coming. I mean, it was built up, like, so much in the books, and it was done in a way that I didn't quite expect. I mean, I expected him to get stabbed. They nailed the stabbing. He sure got stabbed. More times than he does in the books, actually.
But he didn't get stabbed in the back.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Because I was kind of hoping he get stabbed in the back, because that's more metaphorical.
I mean, I assume if he had stared at the traitor side longer, like just to kind of like, okay, what are they trying to do here? Because the second he turned around is when he stabbed him. He probably would have stabbed him in the back. He wouldn't have cared. It's like, this is taking too long. I don't think he was waiting for the cinematic turn. He was just gonna stab him.
Good thing he could read.
It is a good thing he could read.
Yeah.
Well, do you think he's dead? I guess that's the big question, right? I mean, people have probably either read theories and rumors and this and that or whatever. Since we've all read the books, we've all had our ideas of what was to happen even before the episode aired. And the show creators have said, they've said dead is dead. But I think we all have our suspicions on this one. And it's interesting why this death more so than Ned or Robb or, I don't know, Jojen? No one cares about Jojen.
No one cares about Jojen.
I don't know. I'm still holding out.
Like, okay, we have had all these theories, but like I said, how Game of Thrones breaks, like, the traditional storytelling format, it could be that, like, oh, this is building up to some grand thing. Jon and Dany, ice and fire. It's leading to something. Jon's parents, it means something. It could just be a giant curveball that George R. R. Martin and the writers of the show just threw at us.
I mean, it's interesting, though. I think that, I do think that he's going to be, Jon Snow is not gone. I mean, there's theories that he could possibly ward. Melisandre's at the wall, and that's no coincidence. Right. Regardless, I think the reason why I think he's coming back is kind of from a viewpoint of the series as a whole, right? Because he's killed off all these other characters and they have stayed dead, there's so much credibility, right? Yeah. That now, if he did bring back a character, it would be more shocking and it means more than as if he had like, oh, Ned's not really dead, magic, or I saved you at the last second, or whatever. But because the show has been known for being brutal and realistic and all those things, it's kind of, our expectation is that he's dead, right? So now it'll be actually the opposite, like it's turning itself on its head again, right? If he comes back now, it's defying our expectations in a way that originally our expectations were that, oh, the good characters would live. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. I almost feel the direct opposite about it, though. It's like everything is like it makes it seem like he isn't dead. Like everything this is mostly from the books, all the like backstory that we get, and everything has been leading up to the fact that Jon is too important to die. Even if he gets mortally wounded, he's going to be in this story somehow. Like it would almost seem like it would be a bigger turn if he actually is dead and
well,
stays
that's from
dead.
the books. I mean, I don't think the show has hinted at things like that. They haven't as heavy-handedly put that in the audiences, so I'm sure there's lots of audience members who watchers don't know the full extent of what Jon Snow potentially is. Check those out on websites, on the internets. But that's what I'm saying in the show, though. I think it's more... It looks like it stays on his freaking eyes forever as the blood roll. Like, there's ample opportunity for them to kind of telegraph, like, wink, eyes wide, whatever, something. But because they don't, it's like, oh, man. Oh, he's dead. And it is it's not episode 9. We don't get the repercussions of his death, right?
Yeah.
As we would normally in other seasons. We don't get to have that, like, oh, everyone dealing with the aftermath of this. So to me, that's even more like, oh, we don't even, we literally, it's over as soon as he hits the ice. Like, anything could happen. I don't know.
Right.
I just feel like there's a lot of potential there. And come on, you can't freaking kill Jon Snow.
What do you think about the fact that Kit Harington has said that his character is dead? The writers of the show have said that he is dead and that he's not coming back next season.
But they have a contract for him next season.
Well, it could. I'm assuming his body is going to at least be in the first episode. I mean, the same way that Joffrey's was in the next episode, and then you had, like, Ned's was technically in episode 10, because they lifted up his head after he gets... So, I mean, they have these characters. Rob was technically... I
don't think that was probably...
Well, but he was listed in the episode. If you look at the credits, he's there.
Okay, so you're saying because there's enough stuff happening in the real world, like Kit Harington saying that he's dead and all this other stuff, that we should rule all that stuff out. Because it's not out of the question for them to, in the real world, like you're saying, throw us a curveball and just tell us something that's
I
not
mean,
true.
if I was the creators, I'd lie about it too, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I just wouldn't say anything. I'd be like, just keep watching the show. I don't know.
That means that he's come. Like,
that doesn't necessarily. It's just
that's the only way they could handle it is to say he's dead. What else then can they do? They have to stick to the guns with what there's in the show.
Right.
At the very least, let's say he's dead. I think that Jon Snow's significance is not over, if that makes sense. Maybe he's dead. He's never coming back. I think his significance will still have an effect on the outcome of the show and the greater scheme of what's going on. A season of many changes, nothing happened. People died at the last episode. If you're going to watch an episode of Game of Thrones Season 5, just watch the last episode. Nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's the...
And Hard Home. Watch Hard Home.
Yeah,
Hard Home was pretty sweet.
Well,
you can watch that one too.
I mean, you should probably watch episode 2 because that's when Jon gets elected Lord Commander.
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Watch Hard Home. Actually, no, that's more depressing. Don't watch Hard Home because you'll get all excited and like, oh man, it's going to be a crazy, epic Jon Snow, man. You got to muster. And then he dies.
I mean, let's just say that's the final battle of Game of Thrones.
Actually, just watch Hard Home. Don't watch the last episode.
Okay.
Just only yeah.
That's still depressing.
And all of Game of Thrones. Don't even watch the first 4 seasons. Just watch Hard Home.
Well, just watch the opening of the first episode of Game of Thrones when those White Walkers kill those Night Watch people, and then watch Hard Home.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I agree with that.
We just wrote our own little story.
Well, season over. Talking of fires.
We didn't talk about Arya, did we?
Arya's blind.
Arya's blind. See ya. Kind of have to fart, but I'll hold it.